Has the COVID-19 pandemic taken a toll on your mental health? Have you found yourself feeling worthless or feeling like you've been trapped in your own psychological prison? The Four Agreements has got your back. With all the grief, isolation, and stress from the past year, this book is a reliable starting point for guidance on living a fulfilling and joyful life. Part of the reason for this book's effectiveness is author Don Miguel Ruiz's remarkable life experiences. Born in 1952, Ruiz's parents were spiritual healers, practicing the beliefs of the ancient Toltec culture. Later on, he graduated from medical school and practiced neurosurgery, where during his years as a doctor, he noticed how many of his patients' problems were psychological. On an interview with Oprah Winfrey, he explains that after a near-death experience, Ruiz began a spiritual and psychological journey towards self-awareness and enlightenment. To share his newfound understanding of the mind and create more psychological resources, Ruiz wrote The Four Agreements, which stayed on the New York Times bestseller list for a decade and sold over 10 million copies just in the US, according to the author's website. This book was also translated into 46 different languages worldwide. To share his message with this broad and worldwide audience, Ruiz organizes the book into a logical argument, provides evidence that's easily grasped by his audience, and incorporates comparison and repetition into the book. To make his advice on achieving mental freedom understandable for a wide audience, Ruiz simplifies complex psychological concepts with abstract diction. Three examples of this abstract diction are these three terms: the book of law, the inner judge, and the victim. The victim, as Ruiz defines it, is a part of us that receives judgments and carries guilt and shame. Ruiz's setup of his logical argument begins with these abstract terms and definitions. To explain the complexities of the human mind, he first defines intangible concepts like perception and guilt. Throughout the book, Ruiz effectively makes his message relatable and understandable to a wide audience, beginning with these abstract ideas and definitions. Ruiz clearly organizes his argument to form a broadly accessible psychological resource. He organizes it into 4 claims to support his argument on how to live a joyful and fulfilling life, aka the 4 agreements. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Number 3, don't make assumptions. And number 4, always do your best. And instead of using complex facts and figures to support his argument on how to live a happy life, Ruiz backs up his claims with examples of personal experience and hypothetical examples. To explain the power of the word in Chapter 2, Ruiz tells a little anecdote about a mother yelling at her daughter and saying that she has an ugly voice. To show the effect of the mother's words, he explains that, quote, speaking to others became difficult for the daughter. Everything changed in the little girl because of this new agreement. She believed that she must repress her emotions in order to be accepted or loved. While this hypothetical example escalates a bit quickly, it clearly shows how the word can cause unnecessary suffering for others, just as the daughter suffered because she believed her voice was ugly her whole life. And along with these hypothetical examples and personal experience to make his evidence easily grasped, Ruiz also uses metaphors to explain the power of his advice and deep psychological concepts. Just as I've shown in the book just now, Ruiz frequently incorporates seeds and flowers into his metaphors about self-growth. In one instance, he asserts that practicing the 4 agreements will generate self-growth. Quote, taking the action over and over again nurtures the seed and establishes a solid foundation for a new habit to grow. This is on page 74. Sure, readers may understand Ruiz's advice with his straightforward writing style alone, But this addition of vivid metaphors further reinforces his message for readers at all levels of psychology knowledge. In an interview with Soul Love comments that the book is written in a very clear and understandable language. Along with his credibility, Ruiz's organized argument, use of evidence that's easily grasped, and inclusion of comparisons makes the Four Agreements an essential, comprehensive read for everyone. This book has certainly changed my life for the better. Side effects may include a happier, more fulfilling life, better relationships with friends and family, a better mental state, more appreciation for the little things in life, a better attitude, less emotional poison, better friends, better performance in jobs, more understanding of psychological issues, and more personal freedom.